the embodiment of these cycles is when we are embodiment of these cycles, we are no longer depleting ourselves. We are no longer stagnant. We are no longer kind of a victim to our own creative process. We become the masters of our crafts. We become the masters of our co-creations, our collaborations, because we honor our humanness. We honor the earth. We honor that this is all within us and about us. And there is no way that the old way is going to carry us that much further. It is failing us. It is depleting us. It is causing mothers to have nervous breakdowns. It's causing teens to feel suicidal. It is the old way. It is falling apart. And if we don't know how to shift into this more feminine model of living in accordance of the feminine principles, we are going to go down with it. So in order to shift out of that, we have to understand the cycles of the feminine, and we have to embody those cycles of the feminine. And one of the ways that we do that is by honoring ourselves and where we are in this very moment, honoring and having respect for and compassion for wherever we are in our creative process, in our work process, in our home life process, and just having that respect for ourselves and how far we've come. So when we can do that, it's only then that we can start fresh. It's only then that we can come into these cycles more fully. And one of the things about the most fertile part of our cycle, the creative, our juices are flowing, right? Like that time of the month where we're ovulating, where our juices are literally flowing and wanting to create, is if we are not honoring the time period where we need to destroy, rest, and open, then we're not going to be able to make the most out of those creative juices that we have flowing. It's only through the process of embodying all four pieces of this that we're able to cultivate and step into our creative process in a bigger way. So one of the ways that we do this is we focus on consuming less and resting more, consuming less and being in the stillness more. Oops. There we go. Oh, I'm not going to talk about that yet. Okay, so here are the feminine cycles of creation. We have openness, and this is the one that pretty much I was just talking about, is that if we can't be in that openness, we aren't able to move into the making. The making is that action oriented. It's there's even within this feminine cycle of creation, there's the masculine principles and the feminine principles. The feminine principles is the openness and the destruction. The masculine principles are the making, the doing, the creating, and the releasing. And so if we can't honor, because even within this, right, like there is still, if we look at this in a very literal way, we talk a lot in our culture about making things, creation, and we talk some about releasing, like you got to release those old emotions that are stored up because, you got to move forward and you got to clear yourself out. But what we don't talk a lot about is being open, the openness, the receptivity, and the destruction that is necessary. So when we're looking at these four pieces to the cycle that we constantly are in cycle with throughout our whole lives, it's not just when we're cycling through our period, right? This is the cycle of creation, of all creation. And so when we're looking at this, I just want to go through each one of these, but then you can start to look at which one, and it's going to be different for different things, right? Which one stands out to you? Which one is the one that you're like, oh yeah, I know I struggle with that? Because wherever the struggle is where the work is, right? Is where the energy needs to go in order to create some healing, create some flow.